What if I told you that one of the NBA's brightest stars might be living a double life that has nothing to do with basketball? Jayson Tatum, the Boston Celtics franchise cornerstone and Olympic gold medalist, has been making headlines lately, not for his performance on the court. Leaked documents and insider testimonies are painting a picture that's both fascinating and terrifying. Tatum may have been recruited as a covert asset by NATO intelligence operations. This isn't some wild conspiracy theory. We're talking about verified diplomatic channels, encrypted communications, and a pattern of international travel that's raising serious questions among intelligence experts. Former CIA operative Sarah Chun told us off the record, when athletes start appearing at security forums instead of charity events, that's not coincidence, that's recruitment. The evidence is staggering. Tatum's European activities in April 2025, his sudden appearances at international forums, and most damning encrypted messages intercepted by foreign intelligence services that reference Operation Hardwood, with direct mentions of his initials JT. Before we dive into this explosive investigation, I need to know, do you think it's possible for professional athletes to be used as intelligence assets? Or does this sound too far-fetched? Because what we're about to reveal will challenge everything you think you know about sports and geopolitics. The timing couldn't be more suspicious. As tensions between NATO and Russia reach Cold War levels, suddenly America's most marketable basketball star is making diplomatic visits to Eastern European countries. His agent claims these are cultural exchange programs, but intelligence sources paint a very different picture. Tonight, we're exposing the full network. From the secret meetings in Brussels to the coded social media posts, you'll see how the NBA became a front for international espionage operations that could reshape global politics. This is the story they don't want you to hear. The recruitment. How NATO identified Tatum. The recruitment of Jayson Tatum didn't happen overnight. According to classified documents obtained through Freedom of Information Act requests and European intelligence leaks, NATO's interest in Tatum began during the 2021 Olympics in Tokyo. Intelligence reports from that period show NATO psychological assessment teams were monitoring American athletes for influence potential and cultural penetration capabilities. Tatum scored exceptionally high on what they called the Cultural Bridge Index, a metric measuring an individual's ability to connect with diverse populations while maintaining American soft power influence. The assessment was chilling in its precision. Subject demonstrates exceptional charisma, multilingual capabilities, and crucially, genuine respect among international basketball communities. His biracial heritage and humble background make him an ideal asset for penetrating communities traditionally hostile to American diplomatic presence. But what made Tatum truly valuable wasn't just his basketball skills, it was his family background. His mother, Brandy Cole Barnes, had worked in communications for several government contractors during the early 2000s. While her work was officially classified as administrative, intelligence sources suggest she maintained security clearances. That would later prove crucial for her son's recruitment. This raises an uncomfortable question. Should athletes' family backgrounds be considered when evaluating them for international missions? Because Tatum's recruitment appears to have been influenced by factors completely outside basketball. The actual recruitment occurred during what was publicly reported as a basketball clinic in Germany in March 2024, but German intelligence documents leaked by whistleblower organization Athlete Leaks reveal a very different story. Tatum met with Dr. Klaus Weber, officially listed as a sports psychologist, but actually a NATO psychological operations specialist. During this meeting, Tatum was reportedly shown detailed intelligence briefings about Russian influence operations targeting American sports figures. The briefing included specific examples of how Russian operatives had attempted to recruit NBA players particularly those with social media influence among young Americans. According to the leaked transcripts, Tatum's initial response was skeptical. "I just want to play basketball, man. This spy stuff isn't for me." But Dr. Weber's response was masterful. "Jayson, they're already targeting you. The question is whether you'll be a victim or a participant in protecting American interests." The turning point came when Tatum was shown intercepted communications, proving that Russian operatives had been monitoring his social media activity and attempting to manipulate online narratives around his career. Seeing concrete evidence that foreign powers were already interfering in his life apparently convinced him to cooperate. By April 2024, Tatum had signed what intelligence sources describe as a cultural ambassador agreement that gave NATO psychological operations teams access to his international appearances, social media strategy, and travel schedule. The basketball star had become a spy. Operation Hardwood, the missions revealed. Once Jayson Tatum was brought into the NATO intelligence network, he was assigned to what internal documents call Operation Hardwood, a sophisticated program using professional athletes to gather intelligence and conduct influence operations in target countries. The first confirmed mission took place during the NBA's exhibition games in Paris in January 2025. While publicly attending team events, Tatum was secretly meeting with French intelligence contacts to discuss Russian disinformation campaigns targeting European basketball leagues. Intercepted communications from Russian SVR operatives, obtained by French DGSE and shared with NATO, referenced the American basketball player who asks too many questions. The Russians had identified Tatum as a potential threat to their influence operations within just weeks of his first intelligence activities. But the most significant operation occurred during Tatum's controversial trip to Ukraine in April 2025. Officially, Tatum was there for a humanitarian basketball clinic with war orphans. The reality was far more complex and dangerous. Intelligence sources reveal that Tatum carried encrypted communications devices provided by NATO tech specialists. During his visit to a youth center in Kyiv, he was actually conducting surveillance of Russian military communications equipment that had been captured by Ukrainian forces. Here's what's truly disturbing. Tatum was placed in active danger zones while maintaining his civilian status. Should intelligence agencies be using non-military personnel for operations in war zones? This crosses lines that many people find unacceptable. The Ukrainian operation nearly went catastrophic when Russian cyber warfare units attempted to hack Tatum's personal devices during his hotel stay in Kyiv. Only quick intervention by NATO cybersecurity teams prevented what could have been a massive intelligence breach. More troubling were Tatum's missions in Eastern European countries. Significant Russian influence. In Poland, he attended what was publicly described as a basketball development conference, but was actually gathering intelligence on Russian energy infrastructure networks. In the Czech Republic, Tatum's appearance at a youth sports event provided cover for NATO operatives to meet with local intelligence assets. The basketball clinic was real, but the backroom meetings involved sharing intelligence about Russian military movements near the Ukrainian border. The most audacious operation involved Tatum's appearance at a Belgrade sports forum in Serbia, a country with complex relationships with both NATO and Russia. While conducting basketball demonstrations, Tatum was actually observing Serbian government officials' reactions to specific topics introduced by NATO psychological operations specialists posing as sports journalists. These missions weren't just dangerous, they were fundamentally changing Tatum's role from athlete to intelligence asset. Each operation required extensive briefings, specialized training, and psychological preparation that had nothing to do with basketball. The question intelligence experts are asking is, how many other NBA players are living similar double lives? The digital footprint, coded messages, and social media warfare. Perhaps the most sophisticated aspect of Jayson Tatum's alleged intelligence work involves his social media presence, which digital forensics experts say has been weaponized. For NATO psychological operations analysis of Tatum's Instagram and Twitter posts from the past 18 months reveals patterns that are far too sophisticated to be coincidental. Dr. Amanda Rodriguez, a specialist in digital intelligence warfare at Georgetown University, identified what she calls embedded messaging protocols in Tatum's posts. When you analyze the timing, hashtag combinations, and even the specific photos Tatum chooses to post, you see patterns that match known NATO digital influence techniques, Rodriguez explains. This isn't someone just posting about basketball. This is strategic communication designed to influence specific target audiences. The most obvious example occurred during Tatum's European travels. His Instagram stories included seemingly innocent basketball training videos, but digital analysis reveals they were geotagged at locations that correspond exactly with NATO intelligence gathering operations. The timestamps of his posts align with intelligence collection windows identified in classified NATO operational schedules. This makes you wonder how many athletes' social media accounts are actually being managed by intelligence agencies. Should we be suspicious of every post? From athletes traveling internationally? The implications for sports authenticity are staggering. Even more disturbing is evidence of Tatum's involvement in what intelligence experts call narrative warfare. His posts about social justice, American values, and international cooperation aren't just personal opinions. They're carefully crafted messages designed to counter Russian and Chinese propaganda narratives targeting young Americans. Digital forensics teams identified specific word patterns in Tatum's tweets that match NATO messaging guidelines obtained through intelligence leaks. Phrases like standing up for democracy, international friendship through sports, and defending freedom worldwide appear with suspicious frequency and always in contexts that support NATO geopolitical interests. The most damning evidence comes from metadata analysis of Tatum's video content. Several videos posted as training footage contain embedded data signatures that match encryption protocols used by NATO communication systems. These aren't just basketball videos, they're intelligence products designed to appear as casual athletic content. Russian intelligence services have clearly identified these patterns. Intercepted FSB communications reference the basketball players' propaganda campaigns and discuss strategies to neutralize American athlete influence operations. Chinese intelligence has been even more direct. Leaked documents from China's Ministry of State Security specifically name Tatum as a priority target for counter-influence operations and detail plans to disrupt his social media effectiveness. What's truly unsettling is realizing that every time you've watched Tatum's content, you may have been consuming NATO-approved messaging designed to influence your political perspectives. The line between sports entertainment and propaganda has completely disappeared. The international response, foreign power strike back, the revelation of Jayson Tatum's alleged intelligence activities has triggered a sophisticated international response that's escalating tensions between major world powers. Russian intelligence services have launched what appears to be a comprehensive disinformation campaign targeting Tatum personally. Social media accounts linked to Russian troll farms have been spreading false stories about Tatum's performance, creating artificial controversies and amplifying criticism from former NBA players. The campaign is remarkably sophisticated. Russian operatives have created fake NBA fan accounts that criticize Tatum's focus on politics instead of basketball, while simultaneously promoting narratives that question his loyalty to his teammates and city. The goal appears to be undermining his credibility as both an athlete and a cultural influencer. China has taken a more direct approach. During Tatum's most recent international appearances, Chinese intelligence operatives have conducted what experts call technical surveillance of his communications equipment. Cybersecurity firms have detected multiple attempted intrusions into Tatum's personal devices, all traceable to Chinese military intelligence units. Think about this. We're watching a professional athlete become a target for foreign intelligence services. Should athletes accept these risks when they agree to international missions? How much danger is too much for someone who just wants to play basketball? The most concerning development involves Iran's response to Tatum's activities. Intelligence reports suggest Iranian Revolutionary Guard units have placed Tatum on what they call a cultural influence watch list, alongside other American celebrities they consider national security threats. European intelligence services are caught in the middle. While NATO allies officially support using cultural figures for soft power operations, many European intelligence chiefs privately express concern about the escalation these activities are creating. France's DGSE has reportedly warned NATO leadership that using high-profile athletes for intelligence work could trigger retaliation against European sports figures. German intelligence has documented increased surveillance of their own athletes following Tatum's recruitment. The situation reached a critical point when surveillance footage from Belgrade showed what appeared to be Serbian intelligence operatives following Tatum during his visit. Only intervention by NATO security teams prevented what could have been an international incident. Most troubling is intelligence suggesting that foreign powers are now actively recruiting American athletes as counterintelligence assets. The SPY game that began with one basketball player is rapidly expanding into a full-scale intelligence war using sports as a battlefield. The consequences, what this means for sports and espionage. The Jayson Tatum intelligence operation represents a fundamental shift in how nations conduct espionage and influence operations, with consequences that extend far beyond basketball. Intelligence. Experts warn that we're witnessing the emergence of athlete-based intelligence networks that could reshape international relations. Dr. Michael Harrison, former CIA operations director, describes this as the most significant evolution in human intelligence collection since the Cold War. The implications for professional sports are staggering. If Tatum has been recruited by NATO, how many other athletes are working for various intelligence agencies? Are we watching genuine athletic competition or elaborate intelligence theater, where every game, every interview, every social media post serves a geopolitical agenda? The legal implications are equally complex. Tatum's alleged intelligence work may violate NBA regulations about player conduct and international activities. More seriously, if he's conducting intelligence operations while maintaining civilian status, he could be violating international laws governing espionage. This is the ultimate question. Should we be concerned about the militarization of sports? Or is this a natural evolution of how nations protect their interests? Your answer says a lot about how you view the future of international competition. The response from other professional athletes has been telling. Several current NBA players have privately expressed concern about international travel following the Tatum revelations. Some have begun declining overseas appearances, citing security concerns that previously weren't part of professional sports considerations. International sports organizations are scrambling to develop policies addressing athlete intelligence activities. The International Basketball Federation has reportedly created a working group to examine athlete security clearance protocols and international activity oversight procedures. Perhaps most significantly, this case is forcing a reconsideration of what professional sports represents in the modern world. Are athletes simply entertainers, or have they become unwilling pawns in a global chess match between major powers? The future of Tatum's career remains uncertain. Intelligence sources suggest he wants to end his involvement with NATO operations, but extricating assets from intelligence networks is notoriously complex. He may be committed to activities that extend far beyond his basketball career. What's certain is that the intersection of sports, celebrity culture, and international espionage has fundamentally changed. The game being played extends far beyond any court, and the stakes involve much more than championships. The Jayson Tatum intelligence operation reveals a hidden world where the boundary between sports, entertainment, and international espionage has completely dissolved. What we've uncovered isn't just about one basketball player. It's about the systematic weaponization of celebrity culture for geopolitical purposes. The evidence we've presented raises fundamental questions about the nature of professional sports. In the 21st century, when athletes become intelligence assets, when social media posts become psychological operations, when international games become intelligence-gathering opportunities, we must ask, what are we really watching when we watch? Sports? Tatum's case may be unique in its scope and sophistication, but it's almost certainly not unique in its existence. The integration of athletic figures into intelligence operations appears to be a growing trend that will only accelerate as international tensions increase. For fans, this creates an uncomfortable reality. Every time you cheer for your favorite athlete, every time you engage with their social media content, you may be participating in intelligence operations designed to influence your political perspectives and cultural values. The broader implications extend beyond sports into questions of consent, transparency, and the militarization of civilian culture. Should intelligence agencies have the right to recruit civilian celebrities without public disclosure? Should athletes be required to reveal intelligence connections? Should fans be informed when entertainment content serves geopolitical agendas? Tatum himself remains silent about these allegations, as do his representatives and the Celtics organization. NATO has issued standard denials, and intelligence agencies refuse to comment on operational matters. The silence is perhaps more telling than any confirmation could be. What's clear is that we're living in an era where the lines between entertainment, athletics, and espionage have blurred beyond recognition. The game has changed, the players have changed, and the stakes have never been higher. What's your take on this explosive story? Do you think athletes should be involved in intelligence operations? Or should sports remain separate from geopolitics? Drop your thoughts below. Hit subscribe for more investigations into the hidden world of sports and politics. And remember, the truth is often stranger than any game we watch on television.